Hi, Teri Robinson, Executive Editor at SC Media, back here at RSA in San Francisco. And right now I have with me Mark Foust. He is the Chief Evangelist at Optimal IdM. Thank you for being with us here today.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, so great. I'm going to ask you just sort of first off how you've seen the show.
Well, I've been on the trade show floor for the entire time, and I'll tell you, it's been very, very busy.
Yeah.
Extremely busy, more so than probably I imagined.
Yeah. So any topics that are rising to the surface for you?
Blockchain continues to be a source of a lot of discussion, most in a theoretical type of way. Little bit of GDPR, just a little bit spotted in there. A little bit of IoT spotted in. Some around virtual directory, enterprise single sign-on, differentiators between the many, many vendors that are sitting down there.
Okay. So any advice to people who are trying to navigate, though? What would you hit first?
It's difficult because you've got I think one analyst described it as when you go in and look at identity, or the identity vendors, you think of it as a mall. There are anchor stores within the mall, and then there's all these little niche vendors. And it's no insult to either one. The anchor stores can do what they do very well, but they don't often venture into the depth that a little niche companies do. So you just need to figure out which ones that you need and want, that are not pet projects, but that are needs, and then sort of explore, once you find something that resonates with you, explore the competitors from there.
So when it comes to identity, I mean, what are the big issues now? I mean, and what are the challenges? I mean, it seems like we've been talking about identity for a long time, and it's obviously really important. So, but what's going on now?
So identity is the backbone of any network. And I think the trick with identity is until recently, we've never seen it as the firewall. The identity is the entry point. And so we've faced the idea often of making it as hard to identify yourself as possible, which is absolutely the right thing to do, whether that's multi-factor, some type of step-up authentication, risk-based authentication. But we also need to have an intelligence on the back end, because once you have their credentials and are logged in, any hacker wants to elevate their status. So I've got valid credentials, whether I've done some type of social engineering to get them, I'm inside your network. Well, I'm not now being rejected as a login,
Right.
I'm valid. But here I am landing and existing in your network, what am I doing?
Yeah. So I'm wondering where you feel like, or if you feel like companies, I mean, the organizations that are grappling with the identity issue, where are they challenged? Where are they getting hung up?
So I don't know that I could give you any clear-cut one answer. Probably the tip of the iceberg that most customers will come in and say federation. And they'll say it because federation it's like saying a car. There's a whole lot that goes into a car. There's a whole lot of different types of cars, but they'll say federation. And they're right. They do have an issue with that. But the truth is that you need to have an automated way to deal with identity that involves as little human interaction as possible. You need to have workflow and policy and things like that. And these are things that are often not well thought out before a vendor's engaged.
Yeah.
And of course, when a customer's interested, the last thing that they want to hear is, well, now to do the proper due diligence, we need to spend X amount of time, or you need to spend as a customer X amount of time vetting some of these ideas out and defining some roles and how you want to reduce things to its lowest common denominator, provide least privilege access or just-in-time access, PAM and PIM to different things. And so normally customers are coming in for one particular need, and then it starts expanding. But it expands sort of slowly, and it looks like scope creep, but it's not necessarily scope creep, it just hasn't been thought out strategically from the beginning.
Right. Well, I think that's in all areas of security.
Yeah, I'm
We're
sure.
probably seeing that. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us here today. I certainly appreciate it. Once again, I'm Teri Robinson, Executive Editor at SC Media, with Mark Foust, Chief Evangelist at Optimal IDM.